Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Owen. Well, we have another
You
great show.
just squeaked that one out.
I know. Well, we have another great. I slowed it down. We have another great show for you today. So, boys, let's get it started. We ignored the New England Patriots last week. And so I think it was 45 minutes, and then Joe reminded us that the Messiah was going to start. I kind of just blocked it out. We're going to start with the New England Patriots today. First of all, it's all about the Messiah, 24 hours a day. If we actually change the name to Messiah, then I think it may work. We'll start with Russell Stevens. Russell, how impressed were you with the Messiah on last Sunday?
You, Joe, but I like my quarterbacks to win football games. So,
Me too.
Oh, you've got to be joking. Come on.
Scotty wants us to name the team the New England Disciples.
30-year contract.
You either
Now.
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah.
You got anything, Russell? What? Is here?
Russell,
you win
Yeah,
or
right.
you win
You
or
can't- you
lose.
can't.
I mean, no, look,
Yeah.
he was more exciting in all seriousness. He was more exciting. And as I said last week and on the text, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make a lot of mistakes. And we
Yeah,
just have to
that's
be
fine.
fine with it, right?
Yeah.
But let's not, let's see him play 10 games. And then I think we can make a pretty good evaluation.
Well, Timmy, the evaluation's already in. He's at the very least, he's Josh Allen.
one
Are
game.
you guys not? You don't? Are you not watching the game? Did you not watch the game? Did you not? I watched
The games, plural.
They're very similar players. I mean,
He's
obviously,
got,
You
he's
said
got,
the
he's
words.
got
You
similar.
just understand. You just said the words. At the very least, he's Josh Allen after
Yeah.
4 quarters of mistake
So
prone.
you've he had 3 turnovers, and you've got him in the top 3 quarterbacks of the NFL.
that's his floor, Timmy, right?
At worst, at worst.
Let's see. You know,
Why? Why? How many years have you guys all been watching football? 50 plus years? You can't see something special in
I've
front of
seen
your eyes.
Geno Smith look like freaking Tom Brady for 2 quarters. You know what I mean?
Geno Smith, but what?
I've seen guys. Nobody's have good games, good quarters. Let's see it for a few games.
Well, first of all, I mean, look at the physical stature the guy has. The kid clearly has an incredible arm, which
Well, anything's better than Mac. You know,
Right.
when it comes to physical stature.
oh yeah, Mac Jones is a cream puff. Look, the kid can run. He's strong. He's coordinated. He's got a great pedigree. There was a reason why he was the third pick in the draft. He could
Yeah,
very
the knock on him was though he's a little careless with the football, right?
well. Of course. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, these guys have to learn the system, and has to get quality wide receivers. But I'll ask you this question: if Drake May was coming out of the draft this year, clearly he'd be the number one pick.
I don't see that.
What?
Jake Daniels went 5-0 before
he's
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
this-
If he was coming out in this 25 draft,
Oh, I
This year's-
really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I haven't seen enough.
okay.
Who else?
Yeah, I don't know enough
Well,
about this year's draft.
Who are they touting?
Like that answer?
I mean, are there any really
Like to-
big names?
I would just
No,
like to
There will
remind,
be by the end of the year.
I would just like to remind the listeners that the man who's just said he's at a minimum he's as good as Josh Allen was also the guy who wanted to sign Cam Newton to an extension 4 games into his Patriots
He
career.
looked really good.
And also referred to Mac Jones as the Messiah at one
Scott-
time.
I never
When-
know.
when
I never
Scott
did
said
that. He
that,
was
I was-
Mac Daddy.
I was
Mac Daddy.
mid pork rib, and I just went.
Like
It takes a lot to get my attention away from a rib.
I know, Jesus.
Well, at least you got a good meal out of that, Hamilton, anyways.
I had to eat too, Jesus. Oh, these two like a vacuum. I went in there with a long sleeve shirt, came out with a short sleeve. You were eating so much. Look, It's true. I wanted to see him. I like
It's,
Cam Newton.
it's good. No, I love Cam Newton as a person, not as a football player in his at the twilight of his career. But hey, I'm excited about uh, Drake May. I'm excited. He looks good. He looks good. Hopefully he is what we saw, and this continues. Unfortunately, Scotty, that's if he lives through another 5 games. I mean, what's the over under till he's being carted off on a stretcher?
Well, he's got to make another 11 or 12, right?
Well, there were a couple of moments during the game where he came up limping and his shoulder.
Holding his shoulder
grabbed
one
his
time.
shoulder.
That's been the argument about why put him in this year. That freaking offensive line is a sieve.
Yeah, I don't think you're right to me. I don't think people understand what's happening here is the offensive line's not even touching these guys. So what's the difference between a normal sack and a sack with the Patriots offensive line?
Well,
these guys are coming full speed ahead at the
they should have started him this week. Last week, Houston has a great pass rush. They were top 5 in the league. Now this week, you're facing Jacksonville, who is 29th in the league in pass rush. Much better opportunity for him to, get his feet wet.
But look, Russell, he's going to get tackled. He's going to get sacked.
Yep.
He's going to have a long career. He's going to get hit very hard, and he's going to get injured. This is just how it works. But have they put him in a situation where they're exposing him to possible serious injury?
Yes, but what he has to learn how to do is protect himself, right?
Yeah.
Like Lamar Jackson is largely learned how to protect himself, even though he's a slight running quarterback.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
May's got to learn how to do the same thing. And I thought he protected himself reasonably well. He took one hard hit. I was like, he could have avoided that. But one of the things he has to learn, along with not throwing interceptions and how to read defenses, is how to protect himself. And so the only way he's going to be able to do that is play. So I'm not going to complain anymore that they put him in and behind a bad offensive line. It is what it is. Now he's just going to learn.
Yeah, Joe.
And I was very encouraged by he was making the correct decisions out there. I mean, the passes were a little high a couple of times, but he was making the right reads. Brissett was just staring down one guy, and that if that guy didn't get open, that was it. He was eating it. May was actually making decisions out there and making the correct ones, I thought.
Russ, I think you're referring to one play where he was going to run it, then he decided to throw it at one point, and he got lifted up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where and that's where he'll learn that. He won't ever do that again. I can tell you that. It's trial by error. But he looked like he had control to me of the huddle, which I think for a rookie quarterback in the first start is very important.
Let's hope that's reality. I mean, we're they have to buy into him. I mean, you have to buy into your quarterback. You have to.
Because this feels like a one-player draft. It literally feels like, other than Wolf drafting May, that he screwed up the rest of this draft. It doesn't look like there's one even potential player out of all of them.
On the plus side, Booty looked a little better and got both feet down in bounds on the touchdown, too.
Scott, I think what you're saying is true. There's the streak with young receivers continues for the Patriots. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. This guy Polk, who evidently made a great first impression in training camp on pretty much everyone, has already become a sourpuss, complaining about not getting the ball, not running the right routes, and he's in the doghouse, and he's 6 games into his Patriots career after hearing all training camp long about how mature he was.
I know.
Boy, I tell you that this old Patriot way in drafting for character, not looking good these days.
No. But look, I would blame Mayo for being the whole player's coach. They're way too comfortable in criticizing him.
They're a little out of hand this week.
Yeah.
Booty
not a
criticized
good
him.
not a good look the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you want to talk about that Barmore incident a little bit.
Yeah, we will. But Booty catches one touchdown pass, and he's criticizing the offense, saying they're not creative enough. Polk, if you remember a couple of games ago, would not go to the huddle because he was complaining about the call, and so he was trying to get the crowd riled up as opposed to doing the next play. If you remember the touchdown that he didn't get both feet in, and then he starts complaining again. Baker, this week, like you said, Russ, Baker's a complete joke. I mean, Baker's going to end up in somehow end up in jail at some point during the course of the season. And then Barmore, what was that? I mean, you see the video. Barmore is supposed to be the mature guy in the room.
And he calls his mother. He calls his mother. If you got in trouble, would you even think about calling your mother? It just boggles the mind.
Just what a jerk. Just what a jerk. I mean, the police, from my estimation, had every legitimate reason to pull him over and check out what was going on. If he had just played it cool, said, "Here's my license. Oh, sorry, sorry."
I thought he didn't have I thought he didn't have a current registration.
Oh, he had a license plate that was tinted over. Completely tinted windows. I mean, my son went to get his inspection sticker. He had to take the tint off his window. I mean, if you want to get pulled over, tint those windows up really nice. You know what I mean? That's like begging for attraction, driving to a rough area of Providence with, you couldn't even see inside the car. The license plate was covered over basically, and it turns out it was an expired, it was expired by 10 days, So something like that, we've all had our, been pulled over for stupid things. And, my father taught me right off the bat, be polite, be polite. I think these cops are human beings. They just want a little respect. He wants respect. They want respect back, right? He just was so combative right off the bat. It was.
This is a bad optic, Russell. This is really, and because again, he was supposed to be a leader of the team. Again, they spent, like Timmy said, they spent a lot of money on him. They gave him a big contract. Unfortunately, he has the blood clots. Understandable, but we don't need any more off-field incidents.
And earlier in the week, another guy that they'd given a big contract extension to, Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, I mean,
two guys that given big contract extensions to. Both turned out bad.
I'm going to get on a little pedestal here for a second. I don't know if it's social media or what it is, but there's a segment of the population out there that thinks that it is better to be confrontational with police over traffic stops than it is to just, be polite, produce the documents you're requested to produce, and hope for the best. If
you want to argue it in court.
He can obviously afford a very good attorney if he needed one. I'll chalk it up to bad parenting for him not being taught how to deal with those type of situations. I don't know. You guys were probably told the same thing. It's how you go in front of the judge or the clerk of court or whatever for these things, and the first thing the clerk says to the cop was he a jerk?
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, this comes down to the only reason we care, Russell, is that he plays for the New England Patriots, and they're not respectful to anyone right now. They're not respectful to their head coach. They're not respectful to society. Remember Baker got pulled over a couple of weeks ago too, and he was complaining about the cops. This is on Mayo and Elliott Wolf. Would you agree?
Oh, Belichick ruled by fear for 20-something years, and I don't think there's any fear of consequences right now in Foxborough. So
I think most of the NFL it's kept tight, buttoned up. It's only I think the players just got the idea that they could act up.
Well, it seems like just New England Patriots. seem to be acting up.
Yeah, the rest of the league did it the Belichickian, does it the Belichickian way for the most part.
I'll give you an example. When I played high school hockey at Catholic Memorial, a shin pad fell out of my bag before a game, and it got left in the car. And I went to put my equipment on, and I didn't have a shin pad. And I went to run out to the car, and the coach made me sit in the locker room by myself for the entire game. You know what? I never forgot a shin pad again, did I?
Yeah, right. Yeah, look, Russell, this is an undisciplined team. I mean, they're undisciplined.
They're just making mistakes. I mean, if we get back to on the field, they're making mistakes. They're committing penalties. They make the same mistake over and over again. The guys they've paid, Onwenu has been bad, right? So they paid him. He's been bad. Nothing good is happening. This is what happens when you are a losing team. Bad things happen on the field. Bad things happen off the field. People become frustrated. They lack discipline. We haven't had to deal with this in Foxborough for 20-something years, really.
Yeah.
And we're
double-digit penalties.
And plenty of other teams have been dealing with this crap forever, but the penalties are ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Oh,
double digits. I mean, we would whine when they got 4 or 5 again.
But we had these same penalties. We had the same penalties last year, though, when Belichick was here.
Yeah,
but not this many.
He lost his fastball, Timmy, for sure. I'm just saying, by and large, for about 20 years, we had a great. We had a good. We had a great, and now we're on the other side of that, and it's no fun.
No, it's the Jets, as Timmy says. It really is. Look, part of it is craft. And Joe, you talk about it all the time, not spending money in the offseason. And when you spend money in free agents, you bring in veterans.
Well, he got used to not having to spend the money. And so he doesn't. And he always tries to do it on the cheap because he was able to do it that way almost his whole ownership. Remember, he inherited a very, very good team from Parcells and Northline. And then, had all the success under Belichick. Never really had to spend. Parcells quit when he wouldn't spend.
I would argue that the rest of the draft picks, that if you shop them right now, you'd be lucky to get a 6th-round pick for any of them. Would you agree?
You might be right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that shows you the value drop just in a couple of months.
Well, now they have film on them playing in the pros and showing that they're inadequate.
Yeah, you can't just waste years of draft picks. You cannot do that.
Well, I think over the years, there was a serious brain drain, and it wasn't just general managers and assistant general managers and player personnel guys. It was also scouts and everything. And I don't think and just like now, none of them were replaced.
I would argue
that they didn't replace those salaries, just like that Belichick ended up with like 2 coaches on his coaching staff.
Joe, do we blame that on upper management for letting, not paying these guys to stick around?
Yes. Yep.
A bit, but they don't sign the checks. It's got to come from somewhere.
Well, upper management, yeah.
And I think the Crafts thought they were getting by just fine. Hey, they're winning Super Bowls or going to the championship game just about every year.
Did anybody hear Kraft's interview this week?
No,
I heard part of it.
The most self-serving interview you will ever hear in your life.
Oh, is that right? What was he talking about?
Just how he came out and said he fired Belichick and he should have done it sooner, and how he wouldn't franchise Brady and he's like a son to him, and he didn't want to pay him. Come on, let's tell the truth. He didn't want to freaking pay him.
But I'm more interested in Kraft talking about the present and the future than continue to talk about the past.
All of us have probably had to have the conversation with the parents when you take the car keys away. That's time to take the car keys away from Bob Kraft in terms of interviews. Like, he shouldn't be doing them anymore. It does him a disservice. It does his Hall of Fame candidacy a disservice. It does the Patriots a disservice. Hey,
maybe he's not the cheap one. Maybe it's Jonathan.
Well, who knows?
Bob strikes me as a fanboy, from start to finish,
Yeah, well, soon Jonathan's thinking it's his money and his brothers and sisters' money.
Kraft said he let Belichick.
We'll have another Wick
Kraft said he gave up too much control. He said he gave complete control of everything to Belichick, and that's something that he made a mistake doing that.
I would argue that, and I did text this, but I would argue seriously that the only two players worth watching, and I'm interested in the present and the future, are the Messiah and Gonzalez.
I mean,
Gonzalez was terrible last week, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't.
He stunk up the joint.
Completely wrong, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about. Seriously.
Well, did you watch that game? They picked
No.
on him all game long.
He had 4 catches. What was it, Diggs? 4 catches.
That wasn't the only guy he covered.
Oh,
When
just
he
stop
was the
it.
target.
Oh my God! I love when you rag on the best player.
And I think I'm more inclined to go along. I thought Russ was kidding at first when he's kind of averse to tackling. Jeez, he runs out of the way of any running back coming through there.
He does run out of the way. He does not like that.
Oh,
he doesn't like those big running backs coming at him.
You'll say, "Oh, he's not here."
I've got to give Russ credit on that one.
Well, it's a game of football. Sometimes the runner does come your way. And
the Jones aren't any, stalwart soldiers up there either. I got to say that.
None of this is true. This is all falsehoods. The guy tackled. What are you talking about? I mean, he's too busy taking the best wide receiver in football.
All right. Well, every play isn't a pass play, though, Scotty.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's out there for. But
I think he is part of the defense.
The only one in front of him. You have an obligation to attempt to tackle him.
You want him hurt.
No one has ever been in love.
He just gives the Olay every time a runner comes near him.
No one has ever been in love with as many guys from a 1-5 football team as Scotty Kerman.
I do. And the punter.
The punter.
He loves his guy.
Yeah, I like
Scotty. Great coverage guy. Terrible tackler.
Not a great tackler, but he can push people out of bounds. He tries his.
Okay, on a 1 to 10 tackler, he's like a 2.
Even Scotty damning him with faint praise.
Well, no, look, he's not going to look. He's Deion Sanders. He's definitely that's what he is. That's not his job.
He's really handsome.
I would wish he's Deion Sanders.
They give him the Irish compliment. He's a really handsome guy for a fat bald guy.
Look, Deion Sanders is his floor. That's all I'll leave there. That's how.
So what do we make of this week? We got 2 1-5 teams. Probably the worst matchup. They'll have the lowest ratings.
And we're a 6-point dog in the game.
Would you trade? I'm going to, of course, I have to ask Timmy first. Would you trade the Messiah for Trevor Lawrence? You're Binky.
I haven't watched much of Trevor Lawrence, but my memories of him leading Clemson as a freshman.
Okay, that's a little. Okay,
I think I might trade. I might make that. I might keep Drake May. Just think of that. They have to pay.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on a second. Let Timmy. That's his point. So you would take Trevor Lawrence?
I'd say it'd be 50-50 for me.
No, you can't do. That's not how this works.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't. That's illegal. You can't do that.
I haven't seen enough of right now.
You have to answer the question. Yes, answer.
I'll take Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, there you go, Joe.
I think I might take Drake May just for the money aspect. One's getting $50 million a year, and one's getting
money being not a factor. Money
not being a factor. It's a factor. Scotty, you have a salary cap. You got to fit other guys in there.
That's not the game we're playing, Joe.
Okay. I'll take Drake May. I'll be on your side. How's that?
Okay, because we're talking about present and future. Russell.
There's no question you keep Drake May. It's not even like I don't even know why we're having the conversation. Trevor Lawrence has said this is year 4.
Yeah.
Year 4. Stop. He's terrible. He's borderline terrible.
No,
I think that it's a terrible, terrible team.
Whatever.
And a terrible, terrible coach.
We'll watch him play this weekend. He'll probably cook us, for God's sakes, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't watched a full game of his in a long time, so.
He's a good quarterback. He's not terrible, but he's not upper echelon either.
Look, there is talk this week in Jacksonville of starting Mac Jones over
No,
Lawrence. Yes.
really.
So that'll tell you all you need to know.
Well, that's
about-
because it's Jacksonville. He's a Florida boy. It was like when Flutie was up here, and all the BC guys wanted Flutie to start.
I haven't really followed him at all. So I got to be honest with you. But
They signed him to an extraordinary contract.
well, he looked like he was the most talented quarterback to come out in years. From the looks of him in college, anyways.
Well, they had to, they had to get off the pot and sign him, or he'd become a free agent.
Yeah, they gave him big bucks.
They had a gun to their head.
All right, we're going to go predictions now. First of all, Joe, let's report about last week's predictions. And there's a guy here who is on a little streak, and we have to give him his just due.
Okay, well, first I'll say that Scotty got the Patriots number right. He was the only one.
Okay.
At 21, who figured 3 touchdowns for that team?
I did.
But I'll give you that.
Wait, I have the scores from last week here.
No, I think it was Joe who recorded.
No, yeah. I didn't record them. I did not.
No, Joe was the secretary.
Okay. I
you weren't on the show.
I texted Tim the numbers, but Russell had the exact margin of victory. He had 30-10, but 20 points, and he also an addendum added, and I bet you Drake May gets sacked 5 times. He was sacked 4 times. It could have been 5. It was very close.
All right. Russell, 2 in a row.
He gets his due.
Props. So we'll start with the champion right now, who's got the crown. Is Todd around? Can we give him a shirt? Russell.
This is a hard one.
16-13, the freaking Patriots are going to win in a freaking field goal at the end of the freaking game. And it's going to probably cost us the first pick in the draft.
I know, right? This is big one. Joe, 16. So Russell, 16-13. Joseph.
Okay. Tim, are you writing this down?
I am, yeah.
Okay, good for you. I'll jump on the Patriots bandwagon there, and I'll add a little more offense. 20-17. They won't get 3 touchdowns again.
All right. 20-17. Right? Patriots. Timmy.
I'm gonna go I think May's gonna do good. I think Pats 28.
Ooh.
28-21 Pats.
Wow.
4 touchdowns.
What's the over-under? Do you know?
Give me a second here.
I think
6 points is a lot to be getting. I think I like that.
Patriots
the over-under is 42.
Low.
42.
Well, I like that number.
The Jags are -6.
I
have been winning money on the Patriots opponents all year. Just let me say that.
Smart man. I got the Patriots losing 31-28. I think it's going to be
an offensive.
Well, the Patriots have no defense.
Yeah.
I mean, and then also they were throwing each other under the bus defensively too. We didn't even talk about this
For 2 weeks in a row.
What was that again?
31-28 Jaguars. And we don't seem to do last year when we were in Germany, we screwed it up, right?
Yeah, against the Colts.
Yeah. This sucks though that I have to watch a game at 9:30 in the morning.
My son Colin's gonna be there.
Oh, fun. Oh, he needs to send us.
Yeah, but he'll be watching at a civilized hour.
He's taking a weekend off from jetting to Italy or Spain or Croatia.
That kid.
They're saving me about $500 this weekend. So thank you, Patriots.
Man. No, but tell him he has to send us a picture from the game.
Oh, he will. I'll send you pics.
Okay, then send it to us. All right, there goes the predictions, and I don't know. We'll see if Russell can do it 3.
We have another set of predictions we're going to need to make tonight too.
The Boston Celtics, absolutely, and then that's a great segue.
When are we going to do the season totals?
Yes, It's the opening night is what, the 22nd? In 5 days.
It's next Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah.
Raising the banner.
My Celtics, I get every other. I did not get opening night this year.
Oh, you didn't? That's gonna be a big night, raising
Yeah,
the banner.
Oh yeah, the ticket's going for a lot of money.
I
I
get the
bet.
Bucks though. I get the Bucks game. That's pretty good.
I would love to see Bob Cousy there. I don't know if
I
he's.
think he's going to probably be there. I mean, he pretty much said as
Yeah,
much last year, right? Like
yeah,
after the championship.
that'll be fun to see him. Even just
Yeah.
help raise the flag. All right, boys. Look. When you have a team as good as the Celtics, you talk about the 15th, 16th, and 17th guy on the roster. The whole talk the last few days is Lonnie Walker going to make the team? Um, Russell, what do you think?
Well, someone, it wasn't me. I read it. I think it was somebody from Bleacher Report proposed. I mean, the guy who has not done very well is Jaden Springer, and he actually has pretty hefty contract as far as these contracts go.
Four.
Yeah, but you multiply it by basically four because of
Yeah,
the
with
tax,
the
cost them
penalties.
$60 million. They could trade him into somebody's cap space, keep Lonnie Walker, and save themselves like 10 million bucks. That's what I would do. I haven't seen anything from Springer.
This
Yeah.
is this is purely going to come down to money.
Well, Springer's not gonna contribute at all this season.
I don't think so.
No. But will Brad go off his little binky that he liked Springer? He snatched him up and for the future last year. Is Brad willing to give him up?
Oh yeah, I think Irving sent a message to the management that hey, let's pull in the horns here,
Yeah.
and if Lonnie Walker can, if you're talking about your third string guard, it doesn't have to be an expensive one.
Yeah. Are we have any expectations for Jordan Walsh, who's looked actually really good this exhibition season after
Yeah.
poorly in the summer league?
I think maturity will help him and let the game slow down a little for him. He's a little out of control a lot of times. He's got to let the game slow down for him and make.
Is he a guy who could be in the rotation next year?
Yes.
Yeah, look, I think an injury this year could put him in deep into the rotation. If Hauser went out, you need somebody who's long. I don't think Shireman does not look
The new
anywhere
guy.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look anywhere close to being ready for the NBA. So, if you go down the line and say who's a long wing who can defend a bit, the next guy you reach is Jordan Walsh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Timmy, it feels good that we re-signed Hauser because Shireman does not look like his replacement.
Not now.
Not yet, anyways.
Give him a little time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
It's quite a step from the level he was playing at. He wasn't going. I don't think he was going up against the top teams every night, right?
No.
Look at Hauser 2 years ago. He nowhere near the player he is now.
Yeah.
Look,
It's a massive jump. Massive.
who would you rather have on the team, Hauser or Pritchard?
When Hauser gets hot, man, he's really good to have on that team. Ask me after each game which guy, because what Hauser's got to cook it, boy, he's a dangerous weapon. I think he's more dangerous than Pritchard, that's for sure. He probably is a little bit of a better defender.
I think he's a lot better defender. Joe? Pritchard or Hauser?
That's tough because they have two such different roles. Which do you need more, wings or guards? I think we need a spare wing more.
So you would take
Hauser because we need the spare wings more. You got like Lonnie Walker and Springer, two behind our starters.
Russell?
I love having a guy like Hauser. When he gets it cooking, he's so deadly.
Well, he just looks
brings
so
me back
confident now,
brings me
too.
back like Andrew Toney or Steve Kerr. Those kind of guys who just when they get hot, they just take the wind right out of the other team's sails.
Yeah. Russell, can he be our Klay Thompson? Obviously not to that level, but to play some role like that?
He's long. He's 6'8", so he can guard up.
He's 6'8"?
Yeah, Hauser is.
I didn't know that.
Look, the fact is, the Celtics value Hauser more than Pritchard. They signed him to $12 million a year extension, and they signed in Pritchard 7.5. You take the size in the NBA, I think they're equal shooters.
You think Pritchard can shoot like Hauser?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But Sky, he's not 6'8" though.
Yeah, but
That's
he as a 3-point shooter, they're just the same.
what I'm
How about
saying.
the value to the team? The value to this current year, who's more valuable?
You take the length. You almost always
Yeah.
take the length in the NBA. But your question to me was, can it be Klay Thompson? Maybe. One thing that Hauser's done, we've seen in the preseason, is he's been putting the ball on the floor in a closeout and taking it towards the hoop and taking some 2-point shots, which he's never done before. Klay Thompson could do that. Also, Klay Thompson was in his heyday a very good defender. Hauser's not in Klay Thompson's class as a defender yet. So, I think Hauser's probably going to, depending on how this all shakes out, he's a likely guy to go sometime in the next 2 years because he's going to have value around the league.
We kind of thought it was a similar situation that Max Strus, who the Celtics did not keep.
Yeah.
But I think right now Hauser's a lot better. I'd take Hauser over Strus, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a development there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a player development success story. Pritchard's a player development success story. Hopefully Jordan Walsh is too.
That difference though between 6'6" and 6'8" to me is big.
Yeah.
I think Cornette too. Cornette's developed.
Yeah.
They said every team in the league.
He's been on that team for 5 years now, Cornette.
Did I read something?
5 years.
There were teams banging on the door for Cornette.
Is that right? I'm sure they were, but he said
he released a very nice statement today about why he stayed with the Celtics. It was mostly because he liked the guys and he wanted to stay with them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good.
And he left a lot of money on the table and signed for 2 years?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But don't sleep on KQ. Don't sleep on him.
KQ cannot make a basket when he's within 5 feet to save a good goddamn life. It is unbelievable.
No, he did.
I thought you were a Tillman guy now. I thought you'd given up on Cater.
I love them all. I'm
if they're over 6'11", he loves them.
No,
if he
Tillman is
dunking, he's amazing. But man, if he has to let go of the ball, it could do anything.
It might go in the other basket. So.
Oh my God.
That's very funny. Look, Tillman. When Tillman's out there, I think it's Horford's out there. They have the same body type. It looks like the same guy out there. Tillman's a nice player. We'll see what kind of role he plays.
He's only 25. He's a developmental guy too.
Brad Stevens has been a genius. The players that he has acquired. Remember, all these guys we're talking about, he acquired them. These guys, it's pretty remarkable. What
it's like he looks for a skill set, he goes after him.
And he gets them. He gets them. All right, boys, this is prediction time, and we're going to go to the season ticket holder.
Anybody got a pen and a paper?
Joe, you want to be the secretary in this?
Okay, I will.
All right, we're going to go to the season ticket holder, the Celtics season ticket holder first. All right, this is win total. Last year, the Celtics won what, 65?
64.
64. And I actually was correct, if you remember. I was the one who had the correct amount. Not the amount, but I was the closest to it.
Yes.
I know you guys tend to forget that when I do it, but I'm going to remind you that
Scott, what do you have for this year?
No, this is Timmy. He's the
okay.
The Celtics season ticket holder.
I think they may take the foot off the pedal a little bit and nurse the minutes a little bit more, even more. I think they might force Tatum to sit a little more. 64 last year. I'll go 60 this year.
Oh, 60 and 22.
60 and 22.
Yeah, that's a very nice businessman-like regular season. We'll go with Russell.
I think they wins 5 games less than last year. So if you subtract 5 from 64, you get 59, and that's that's right on the number, 58.5. I'm not quite sure what the number is.
Okay, so so both of you, that puts them at what seed?
That could still be the number one seed.
Number one or number two at the worst.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Joseph.
Well, I'm going to be a little pessimistic. We were very healthy, other than KP last year. So I'm going to go with like 58 and 24.
Yeah.
Not that pessimistic. It's one game less than me.
Yeah. Well, it's under last year. I was over six. I was like 64.
The Vegas line is 58.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny.
Right. We're all on the over.
I'm going to go. I think that this season, they're not going to burn themselves out in the regular season. I think every night these teams are going to be coming for the Boston Celtics. I think there'll be a lot of times where they'll look kind of old, where some of these young teams will look really athletic and kind of run them off the gym. But they're not. I think 57 is the number this year, and I think they're just going to be just fine with it. I think it's going to be the second seed, and they're going to be okay. And I think there'll be some kind of manipulation at some point. What seed they would like?
Scotty, I'm liking your pick because you brought up a factor that I didn't factor in: injuries. We were so healthy last year; it was crazy.
Yeah, look, they don't need to win 64 games this season. They don't need that at all.
And I think the competition in the East got very much better with the Knicks.
Sixers get better.
Sixers got better. Orlando's a very, very tough team. They're young, and once they learn to win, they're going to be monsters. Indiana gave us trouble. Cleveland is a better team than we faced in there. There's a lot of competition.
How many times will we play the Knicks? Anyone have any idea?
Well,
that'll be a ticket.
It's a set figure. It's like
five,
maybe five. I'm not sure. Actually, it's a great.
That'll be every time the Celtics are in New York. That'll be like a Super Bowl.
Yeah, remember, every guy in the starting lineup got paid. Every guy's got paid, so they don't need to put up numbers this year. You're going to see less minutes with these guys. They don't need to do be all NBA to get the max. They're all paid. So it's all about. This is not about the regular season this year. This is about the playoffs. It's about getting healthy and getting ready. And I think they've told that to the Jays. You're gonna see a lot of 28 minutes out of those two. You watch 28 to 31. They're gonna. If you notice when they play those exhibition games, they all play 23. They are tightly controlling the minutes. And that's where the analytics guys came in. It's going to be very exciting. Look, anyways, it's going to be fun to watch those guys play every game, win or lose. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
No,
it's going to be like the bird era. You got to watch it.
Oops. Yeah, Timmy, your audio went. I'm going to enjoy watching them without the overhanging pressure of, oh my God,
win this year.
Failure if they don't win the championship. I think I'll be able to enjoy it night to night more than I've been able to enjoy it because I think there'd just be much less anxiety about it.
Hey, can you guys hear the planes going over me?
No, I can't hear it.
No.
Oh, they just changed the flight path. The last two planes went right over me.
Oh, is that right? Wow. Should never fly over Milton.
Every 10 minutes now. Boom.
They know. My gosh.
About once a month.
I think
once a month they switch it.
Look, again, the regular season doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. This is a horse race.
As long as you're in the top 4 seeds.
Scotty, it means a little something, setting the tone. It means a little bit to me anyway.
Well, it's going to be
setting the tone, your identity,
But also, there's so many great players in the NBA to watch. This is so much fun. Oh, my God. You can get excited every night to watch the other team. And can you say that about baseball? Can you say that about football? Can you say that about hockey? No way. The NBA is just incredible right now.
The international players have just made it so that every team, look at a team like Memphis that was a last place team last year. This year, look out. Marcus Smart might have some teammates there.
Judge just hit a freaking game-tying baseball.
Oh, my God.
It's the play of baseball, just to change subjects, has been so freaking good. And Judge just opposite field line drive to tie the freaking game off of their closer.
With 2 outs.
God.
Wow. There was nobody on in that with 2 outs, right?
Oh, there was a guy on. It was a
No, no,
two-run
no. But I'm saying there was nobody on, 2 outs, and then they got a guy on, and then
Soto.
wow.
Soto works a walk all the time. They don't want to pitch. They nibble him.
Judge is such a likable player. Well, likable.
Hey, did I hear my man Marcus Smart's name mentioned?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
even he's getting. Remember, they were terrible last year. They were god awful. But
So
now they're going to be a good team again.
the Nick
They
the
had
Knicks
so
coming
many injuries.
well, the Knicks coming after him, they were, right?
they are right now. Yeah.
Well, they don't have anything to give up for him.
Well, good luck with them. With Marcus is so done.
They traded away every asset they had to put together. That's a very nice starting five.
Yeah. All right, boys, we got to go to the Boston Bruins. No, go the Red Sox first. Briefly, first of all, let's talk about the MLB playoffs. It's been really just wonderful. I mean,
Way more of it than I thought I was going to watch. It's been these games have been really good, and like we don't want a New York team to win it, but LA and two New York teams, it's good.
it's fun. Yeah. The
Spend the
Mets,
money and you get a
people-
place in the Final Four.
People that spent money.
but the Mets, despite the fact they have the highest payroll, are very likable. They
Yes, they
seem
are.
like the underdogs. I find, though, I'm a big Dodgers fan. I wouldn't be sad if the Mets won.
Oh, I don't want a Subway Series. Don't want it.
Oh no, no.
Because it looks like the Guardians just don't have the firepower to compete with the
So
Yankees.
Isn't there an aura about those pinstripes though in the playoffs?
Weren't you just
Hasn't been.
didn't you just like you were running on and on about how much you loved LA last
I
week?
just said Dodgers is one of my favorite teams. I just said that, but I said
Be sad if the Mets won.
I mean I kind of like the underdog part. I kind of enjoy it. I mean I'm not that committed. I don't bleed Dodger blue or anything, but I mean I like the Dodgers.
You're very confusing. You seem to want to have it both up. Yeah.
Whoever's winning this week.
Did he hit it out?
Yep.
He did? Oh, you got to be kidding!
Just did another home run.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Stanton! They're up by a run now.
a
Who is
star
this?
player. A star player. What a shock.
Who is this stiff? Who's this? He's their closer?
Closer. He's one of the best closers in Major League Baseball.
What's
and he's
the
just
score?
completely melted down.
4-3 now, the Yankees. They were down 3-1 with 2 outs in the eighth. They scored 3 runs with 2 outs. Nobody
Two
on.
homes.
That's what star players do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said,
I don't know. They
they're-
can have Stanton. Stanton's nothing. He just got hot here at the end of the year.
well, Joe, I mean, this is the time of year that you
You'd like him to be, but
That's what you pay them for.
look, home runs in the playoffs, as we know, are magnified so greatly compared to the regular season. Because these games are clearly they tend to be low scoring and home runs. And look, back to back. That's why you get these guys.
Yep.
Yankees are going to the World Series, like you said. Cleveland can't compete against the Yankees. There's no way. And
It's so disgusting. This could be here, you know. We could
Well,
be going.
yeah.
We could be going bonkers right now if it wasn't for that cheap MF.
Look, I would argue that the Red Sox could be in the World Series next year if they were willing to spend some money.
You're out of your
Oh,
mind. You're out of your
No,
mind.
I watch all these games. I'm not impressed with the starting lineups. I'm not impressed with their starting pitching depth of these teams. Red Sox could do that.
well, and Tim, remember the Yankees might not have Soto next year. I don't know if they're going to be willing to pay where they're already paying Judge and Stanton. Big dogs.
we won't have him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think because he wants big, not Otani money, but close.
He's not a good fit for us
600
as far
million
as what we're
he
trying to accomplish and what we have.
Yeah,
You think-
we have a decent outfield in the making.
But we don't have stars. We don't have big time stars.
Well, we have a chance to.
I mean, look, I'm hopeful about the team and the young guys, but again, it's like Drake May. These young guys come up and most of them don't catch fire right away. It takes a year or two. And do I think the Red Sox could win the World Series in 2 years, year 3? Absolutely. But, even if they sign two really good pitchers, put in all those young guys and rookies into the lineup, they're going to go through their struggles. They just are.
Yeah, but look, it's a matter of the Red Sox sign. If you signed a Hernandez,
Mhm.
from the Yankees, all of a sudden, you
Johnny,
get
are you living in dreamland? They're not signing anybody.
look.
What's it gonna take to get through and realize we are an asset, Scotty, to shareholders? What's
I,
their check what's on their K1? You know what I mean?
I know I'm in denial.
Yeah, you are.
What do we?
We're
The
a
B on the
bottom.
hat.
We're a below mid-level market team now. That's the payroll, Scott. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's never going up again.
Look, I think Bob Kraft needs to stop speaking, as you said, Russell. I think there's a guy who needs to stop speaking with the Boston Red Sox, and that's Brookline's own Sam Kennedy. If he doesn't get it. Will somebody tell him to stop talking?
He's a broken record. He
He,
says the same
He's
things every
paid to
season.
he's paid to fall on the sword,
Mhm.
3 times yearly.
well,
Well,
the
I
Red
think
Sox
he's
fans
part of the
haven't any.
problem. He comes from the business side of the game, and not the baseball side. And he's the one who's got John Henry's ear,
What
and
I'd be
that's part of the
fascinated to
problem.
find out is what is the matrix for, like, losing so much that the profitability goes down. Where is that fine line where it doesn't pay not to be competitive?
Yeah, I know that's a great question. I mean,
But I said it the other day, like people show up at that park, the tourists and the young people show up at that park in droves. You get past Memorial Day and they're putting 32,000 people into that park every night. I don't think, their Nesson ratings have been low for a while. None of this seems to impact them.
no, I don't think they care whether they draw an average of 28 or 34. I don't
Yeah.
think they care. I really don't. But that's also the Red Sox fans. The Red Sox fans showing all this enthusiasm for like the last couple of games of the season, like it meant something. That's a bad message to send to management. It really is just Disneyland. You know what I mean? That all they care about is just that particular game, whether we won it. Doesn't matter that we're 20 games out of first place. They don't care. And obviously they've done polls and they realize that too. Russell, you're right. They're just good with drawing a certain amount, making their money on that, and they'll make money on other ways.
Yep.
That's all right. We're gonna go to the Boston Bruins. And before last night, because I love Tankathon, if the season ended, the Bruins would not have made the playoffs.
How many games are now?
A 4-game sample?
4 games?
I'm
You're
just
out of
telling
your
you.
mind. You are out of your mind today.
I'm just telling
I'll
you.
just say that.
They wouldn't have made the playoffs.
What do
That
you take?
means
I
you are
want some.
mainlining Tankathon.
I want some of what you're taking right now.
Well, just the fact they were out of the playoffs. There
Have you
you go.
seen?
Every team is out of the playoffs right now, Scotty. Every
This
team.
this team is gigantic. I tell you, this is built for the playoffs. This team, This team will not be pushed around anymore.
Well, Florida did a pretty good job of it the first 2 games.
Florida's the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? I want the big bad Bruins to be back. I want there to be some bumps and bruises when you come to this town. That's
I
the
like
style of
all the new guys have been the best players on the team. Costello, Kepka, the goaltender, giving them a road victory.
Lindholm's been good.
The new hit Lindholm, the big defenseman, every one of them playing. They're our best players right
Did
now.
I text you guys a picture of that roster?
Yeah, the size anyway.
Could you believe it? I mean, they got to be averaging 6'4", 230.
Did you feel that when you were at the game?
Oh yeah,
how big they are?
they were. They look like. I mean, the Canadians look like midgets out there.
Oh, they
Especially
did.
Gallagher, you know.
Canadians look like midgets. They're the smallest team in the league.
But I can't remember an NHL team just with this size right across the board. They went out with a purpose. They had a mission.
One guy who seems to be playing better and such a key guy is Hampus Lindholm has been much better this year.
He had a goal last night.
And how about that low ride pass last
Oh,
night? That was an unbelievable assist. really.
Russell, I have never seen you so engaged so early on the Bruins as you are this year. Why?
They got two Lindholms. That's
I
why.
have nothing else to watch, Scotty. The Patriots stink, and the Celtics haven't started. So,
Okay.
I like
I'm,
that. That's a stink. I like that, Russell.
I would say the Patriots are unwatchable.
yeah.
Oh, I thought
Unless you
last
bet,
game was the most entertaining game so far.
unless
They
unless you
got
There
blown
was
wager
out.
against them.
scoring. There was
Unless
everything.
unless you wager against them, then they're very watchable.
Oh yeah.
They got blown out. How's that? I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
but
but
when you
there was 62 points scored. That's probably more points than were scored in the first four games.
the
you got to
first two
stop
games
bet,
are pretty
you got to
good.
stop betting on the other team. You'll enjoy the games more.
The first two games are pretty good, I thought. They're pretty
Well, they
entertaining.
won the first game, so that was a
The
big
second
plus.
one was entertaining. They should have won that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're still whining about that 4th and 1.
oh my God. I'll tell you that CJ Stroud. I love that guy, that kid. And he's so mature.
So,
Oh,
Scotty, would you trade Drake May for CJ Stroud?
no, of course not. I'm not ever, you're never goading me no, I just said he's a very nice player. I mean,
That would be something I would consider. There's very few quarterbacks, but Stroud is young and proven really, really good.
He
Really.
doesn't have Josh Allen as a floor, though.
no, he
You
doesn't.
would you trade him for Josh Allen right now, Scotty?
No, I wouldn't trade him for anyone in the league. He's going to be
Pat
the
Mahomes?
no, fuck Pat Mahomes. I don't want to deal with that shit. No, I don't even like Pat Mahomes.
Who's the kid that came out first in the
Lamar
draft?
Jackson?
The kid who came
No.
out first is killing it, right?
Williams, no,
Caleb
off and on,
Williams.
right? Kind of off and on.
Jaden Daniels is the one that's killing it. He's not just the rookie of the year. Right now, he's MVP of the league year.
Look, I've seen into the crystal ball. Just wait on Drake May, and when it all happens, I don't know. I don't. I'm
But
That's that glass bowl over there.
is this management capable of surrounding him with what he needs, though?
Well,
That's my
question.
worry.
Yeah,
That's my big worry.
Well, if they go 1-16,
that's what Russ wants.
Well, next game might be the only game that's winnable.
As I've said, if they get to like 1-8, 1-9, I am going to be rooting for losses the rest of the way. What's the point at this point?
Well, they have the Jaguars and then the Titans, right?
Yeah, they should win at least one of these two games. If they don't, I'm out. Like, see you
So
later.
what's our hope that May doesn't have a
Well, they won't win
catastrophic
another
injury?
game the rest of the year then.
My worry is for May having a catastrophic injury. That's my worry.
Yeah, that's it. I think if you lose to the Jaguars and Titans, you're based on the way they're playing. I think that they end up with the #1 pick in the draft.
The schedule gets real tough after these two. Well, I mean, we've had some cushy teams. We had Miami. They're terrible.
Well, we
We
do
don't
get
play-
Miami again.
Yeah, we're good. Buffalo's going to be. I know. I'm telling you. No, look. The next 3 games is what Jaguars, Jets, and Titans, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey, speaking of Miami, do you think Tua sees the field again this year?
he says he's gonna.
Not if he's smart. Not if he has it. I hope if his parents are living, I would hope they would get him in a room and tell him he's not.
I'd go right back to the sunny South Sea Islands, spend the rest of my life there.
We're all fathers. Would you let your son Tua play football again?
No.
Timmy,
No.
Russell,
Nope.
Joe.
No,
Yeah, me.
that doesn't make sense.
Scotty, he's almost
Great
like,
shape of animal.
Russell, you mentioned taking the keys from an elderly person. It's equivalent to that.
Yeah, not even no chance. I would say you did a great career. You played wonderful in college where they won a title, right?
Yeah, you've tasted victory.
Time to do it. That's it for the football career. All right, we're good. All right, we're finishing. We're wrapping up with the Bruins. Biggest surprise player of this last question. Biggest surprise player in the first 5 games.
Tim.
Timmy,
I'll let you go first, Joe.
Russell,
Campus, I was out on him, and I think he's been fantastic. So
Joseph.
I think Kostelic has been the big surprise. That line, his lines had him and Beecher scored again last night. 2 more goals.
I'll say Lindholm. Yeah,
Which one?
Eric?
Elias?
Elias. I think that obviously a very nervous when you sign a guy to a big contract that you've always wanted, and will he develop? And I think he's played very well. He's exactly what they needed, and um, that was a good signing. It looks like. Timmy,
I think Poitras look pretty good.
he seems so fragile.
Yeah, he's already missed a game.
He's very slightly built.
He is slight.
Yeah.
When he's out there though, he seems to have pretty good control.
Yeah.
Nice hands. Nice
Yeah.
hands.
All right, well, boys, so that's our show for tonight. That was action-packed. Of course, I want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Thursday night at 7 o'clock for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.